Good afternoon, everybody. We're back for our, I think this is our fourth virtual live stream that we've done. And we're getting more creative and more excited about each one that we're doing. We've got some company today. Kellie Mayrides from CORT has joined us. So I actually have a partner up here on the stage. I feel like this is like we're growing and we're getting better at this. And this is exciting for me to share the stage with somebody and to share it with some awesome furniture, which is so much better than the director chairs, and might I add, so much more comfortable. So we will get to this in a little bit. Thank you. But you know, if anybody didn't see our Facebook this week or our social media, we actually did jobs. We did actually put truss together and put video walls together and set up speaker systems, and it felt so good to get out there. It felt so good for our techs to be able to do some work, but it really felt good to see the looks on our customers' faces. And our customers this weekend were graduates. They were just so happy to be able to have something that they could remember. We live streamed the footage that we were doing. We projected images up on our large video walls. We used an FM transmitter. We just really did we just felt great, and our pictures prove it, right? The guys are out there having a really good time. And the weather was actually beautiful. I mean, it was a little hot on Friday, but man, we were really happy and really excited to get out and do some work. I didn't do any work, but everybody else did put in a lot of hard work. So we thank our customers for trusting us to do that. And if you're still looking to do a drive-in graduation, we can still certainly help you out. So don't, if you want some more information on that and we can try and help you, we certainly will. All right, enough about that, more about what we have going on today, because it's like I said earlier, we're in such a more comfortable setting, and we owe that all to my good friend sitting next to me here, Kellie from CORT. So I'm going to take a minute to introduce you and let you introduce yourself to the viewers and everybody that's going on. So floor is yours, Kel.
Thank you, Jason. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I haven't seen many people in real life other than my family since this all started, so it's nice to be with you guys, with you here, Jason, and the crew. And I'm also really excited that we were able to deliver some furniture in advance of this so that we could actually sit on some CORT furniture. So for anybody that doesn't already know me, I am the account executive for CORT for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Northern Delaware. I'm based in Philadelphia, and I work with my clients nationally. So if Synergetic has an event in Arizona, in San Diego, in Texas, I'm still your single point of contact. So that's my clientele here, and glad to be here to talk with you. Yeah,
I know we talked at length when this first happened on what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? When you saw us have this studio, what were your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking? How did you kind of pivot almost? And I know we kind of hate that word, but we talked a lot about that. So tell us a little bit about that conversation and kind of where you have, from where it was, from our first conversation to where we are now. Talk a little bit about what CORT's doing to be able to provide furniture like this for socially distant events.
Absolutely. So yes, you and I did start the conversation very early on, and I think it's easy, especially at the beginning of this. It was very easy to kind of think, oh, we can't do what we normally do, right? And to just be upset about that.
Right.
But eventually you kind of have to stop and go, okay, well, we can't do all of that, but what can we do?
Right.
And especially now as we move into the yellow phase here in Pennsylvania, we can be in a studio together, properly distanced, which is great, and we can have some nice pieces, and
we can be here because of what you're doing right now, what they're seeing right now.
Oh, right, yeah. So we have some video here of our driver, Kenny. Hi, Kenny. He is delivering the furniture here yesterday, and kind of showing what our cleaning procedures are. So that's part of what we've been working on behind the scenes at CORT nationally to make sure that our clients can feel confident renting our pieces. So what he's doing here is unwrapping the furniture, but before it even got here, it was disinfected and wrapped at the warehouse before it was put onto the truck. And then once he got here, he unwrapped everything and disinfected it again. So the cleaner,
twice.
Twice, yes. Okay. So and of course he's wearing a mask and gloves, and the warehouse staff is also wearing masks and gloves while working at the warehouse. So all the way through, we have a full set of protocols. So he's spraying the tabletop there. You let it sit for a certain amount of time, about 5 minutes or so, for it to do its thing, and then you wipe it again. So that's going to happen on all of our deliveries before we leave. We're going to set, clean it all off after it's set, make sure the client's happy with it before we depart.
Okay. And then this is something that's national, right? Company-wide.
Yes. So we'll be using the product actually that Kenny's holding up there. It's a hydrogen peroxide-based product, odorless, will not damage the furniture, most importantly, and disinfects within minutes. So it kind of checks all the boxes.
All right. I've been hearing that a lot. Check all the boxes.
Yeah. There are a lot of boxes to check right now.
Yeah. And he was great. He came in yesterday. You can tell a lot about a company by their the people that show up to deliver the stuff and what the values and the culture of the company are.
We have really great crew and drivers.
Yeah. I know we talked. We talked about what the foreseeable future is in the industry, and it's changed every single time. 2 days later, after we think we know what's going to happen. When we spoke on a lot of panels, you've done your own panels. As of today, where do you think? What's your vision for it? What are you thinking about where we're at today and how CORT is going to? Well, let's just talk about maybe just the industry in general, and then where CORT is going to kind of come in to help that.
Yeah, I think that right now all of us in the industry are absorbing a lot of information, whether it's directly related to events or not. We have to take the guidelines and the CDC recommendations and all of that and think about how are we going to apply that now to what we do as an industry. So that's kind of, I think we're all kind of gathering that information, talking to one another, sharing the information that we find with our clients and partners to try to collaborate and figure out solutions of how do we move forward, right? So, again, what can we do right now? So what we can do is certainly put out more polished looking broadcasts like this compared to, Zoom in someone's home office or kitchen with their kid in the background and all of that. We've been doing that for a while. I think it's safe to say we're kind of good on that.
Yeah.
And, the next phase of this, I think, is going to be kind of what we're doing today. When an executive is going to deliver content to an audience, how do they want it to appear on screen? Do they want him in his home office or do they want this? So
there's a perfect example on the screen now.
Yes.
This is what you're talking about. If you don't want to be in front of your living room with your cat going across the table, and when you can have something like this, which is kind of sort of what we're in now a little bit. But why don't you talk a little bit about
style? Yeah, absolutely.
About these decks here?
So, you and I had conversations way back at the beginning of this, and I've talked to several other AV companies and other clients about kind of, what would you want to see on stage, what works well on camera, and resoundingly what I've heard is, we need you to help us narrow down this menu of options because our catalog has hundreds and hundreds of pieces in it. It's too hard to send your end client who doesn't really know much about furniture potentially to our website, right?
It can't be a Cheesecake Factory menu.
Exactly.
There's 90 pages.
You don't want it to be overwhelming for people. So what we've done is create a deck that has a narrowed down set of options for individual types of pieces, but then also these sample sets. So we're kind of in a smaller version of this, a two-seater version of this with our blue Montreal chairs here. So we'll see properly distanced panels and fireside chats. This one is a little more like the Tonight Show, where you have a host behind a desk and a guest seated in the chair. So that's another way that you could stage. And then news desk style, or almost like being on ESPN, where they're sitting behind the desk at bar height with graphics or a screen behind them, is another kind of direction that we're taking it in. This L-shaped news desk is maybe my personal favorite, and we actually delivered all the pieces that we need for that here yesterday, and we're going to see a portion of this, I think, in a little bit here.
Now, we always have to do something challenging, right? We had a phone call come in. We've tried some really interesting things to show people the capabilities of what you can do when you're live in a setting like this. So we're going to push the limit again today, and we're actually going. I think I'm actually getting red just trying to think about it. We're going to do a set change, and we're going to show your favorite piece. And we have to do it in a minute, about a minute. So we're going to show that during a live event, you can actually change the set. We actually have a sponsor for this virtual event, and well, it's not virtual. We're not really doing a virtual event. This is just we're just going live. But we have a sponsor. It's a broadcast. There you go. I keep forgetting that word. We've got a sponsor, and that sponsor is none other than Synergetic. So we're going to roll a Synergetic sponsor video. We're going to change the set, and we're going to come back, and we're going to show you Kellie's favorite set piece. All right, I think, wow, that was like QVC style right there. We were nice. I want to high five you really, like, but I can't because we're socially.
These guys are moving really fast.
They all are,
them,
right?
But they all just came right up here and switched it out.
I felt like I do watch QVC, and I'm a down home with David. So if you don't watch QVC, you don't know. He is like, he's so good on camera. I end up buying things all the time. I think QVC is going to be a sponsor because I always talk about QVC here.
Every week.
But anyway, we made this change. We made the switch. We're 6 feet apart. So why don't you tell us about your favorite piece?
So that L-shaped news desk that we saw on the deck, this is like one piece of it, right? So that L-shaped desk was made of 2 of these 6-foot bars and 2 of the corner size versions of that bar. But the cool thing about this, one, I think it's unique compared to live events. So live events, you probably wouldn't normally have this on a stage, right? But on a broadcast, it makes a lot of sense to have a news desk style setup. So, so not only do I like that it's kind of different and specific to more broadcast than live, this bar can be branded on the front. So you can put a logo or a custom graphic or something like that on there. It really gives it an even more custom feel. So you can really feel like you're on a talk show or a morning show or something like that.
Right. So we can put logos. We could put anything we want on the front of it. Okay. All right. And then there's other components that we could put together to make this even. I like it too. This is just, there's a lot of creativity here, and I really like that you put that PDF together. I would ask our team if they could go back and show that PDF again because I just think it was neat to be able to say, because if we're the person that's going to be talking, we're going to have customers that are going to call and they're going to say, Jason, what do you think, right? And we don't necessarily know what we think, but the fact that you put something together like this for us, that we can just make it easy for them. A lot of the phone calls we're taking now, they're so concerned, like, can we even do, like, they need the decisions to be quick and easy and made for them. And I was lucky enough to see the beginning of this and what this looked like its first rendition.
Yes,
and to
this
be able
went
to
through
see
a bunch of different versions.
It did,
so
it
we
did.
got to this
And
one,
it was just, I was really, it's really neat to see that this is what all of the professionals are doing for people that are trying to have this virtual event. We're thinking about all these things for you. And Kellie and CORT, I mean, we have been working with them for so long, and it's just, we've ordered stuff from you in Vegas when we were doing stuff out there. It's just, you guys do a great job.
And I want to say too, Jason, that this is my first time in a studio doing this. Okay, so this is not something I've experienced doing. And your team has made me feel so comfortable today.
All right.
And made me feel like I actually sort of know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Which I don't. But
you're pretty good up here.
But they're making, me feel like I know what I'm doing. So, there's a lot of people here behind the scenes, and I think it's important for people to know that if they want something to look like this, that they really need to reach out to you guys and to people like you that know how to put on these broadcasts. The furniture is a part of it and making it look really good, but ultimately the furniture is nothing without everything that you guys are doing around it. So.
Yeah. We counted, we have 11 people here that are making this look the way that it looks right now. So that's 11 people. There's probably more people here right now than there are on some of our actual live in-person events that we do. And it's been it's been challenging. We're learning. We're getting better every single time. And so thank you for those kind words. I know our team is excited because this is a challenge. It's something different. Who knows what we're going to do next time? What kind of change we're going to do that's going to be different? But you know, I mean, to wrap this up and to because we were trying to keep these to 15 minutes, and I think we just went past 15 minutes,
over.
so it's all right. But you know, what do you? I'm seeing the fall still kind of hold on for a little bit. I'm seeing some fall events that are still going to be there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think things are picking up a little bit in terms of inquiries for sure, which is encouraging. But I think, you know, until we can really comfortably meet in person again, and believe me, CORT is thinking about what that's going to look like, and that's information that I'm sharing with clients. But while we're kind of in this in-between phase, you know, we're not in the red, we're not in the green yet.
Chartreuse.
We're in the chartreuse phase, like you like to say. You know, we got to think about, you know, how are we putting out content and how can we rethink the events, because at the end of the day, we're still designing an experience for the audience, whether they're in person or whether they're at home. So how do we elevate that experience in the meantime, and then looking forward to, you know, what can we do once we are in person?
Yeah, it's been, I think people are starting to realize now, it took, the first month was, we just got to understand what's happening. The second month was, okay, we're kind of getting a grasp on it. The last 4 weeks have been, people have been like, okay, now we actually have to do something, and we need to see options, and this is just going to help. This is going to help so much. So, thank you so much for coming out. I mean, we're pretty good at this. We might have to I might have to have a co-host.
We're gonna start a show together.
I think maybe we could lead co-host him. We can get your family up here. We can get, you know, we can have a great little time. It could be fun. Who knows? We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling comfortable back here. We can do this again.
You know, and then we're already getting the like wrap it up signs.
Yeah,
like,
they want us to stop talking now.
We gotta go. Next week when you see us, we're going to change the orientation of this stage set, so it's going to be even more exciting. We've been talking to some. We're so close to getting some bands lined up to come in here. We are working with some other organizations that we can host there. Or it's just been, we've been getting nothing but great feedback from this. So we're really excited. If you need to get information from Kellie at CORT, all of her information is going to be up on the screen. Obviously, you know how to get in touch with Synergetic. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.